Hi, Ken. Good to see you again.
Tim, it's good to be back. We, well, it's great to be back for our second episode. I got some good feedback on our first episode.
That's great.
Looking forward to doing another one tonight.
Yeah, I got the fire going. I'm still up here in the Northeast. It's still a little cold, even though it's spring, but we're getting there. I just wanted to give the folks a little bit of idea who we are, why we're doing this. You and I have known each other for 40 plus years. We're Quinnipiac College alumni, and we've always talked about sport.
Quinnipiac College.
There you go. I'm not sure mine's paid for yet, so when I pay for it, I'll probably get one maybe. But you and I have always talked about sports, business, been to a million Patriots games, other sporting events, and we always talk about business and sports. And this episode might not focus on quite business and sports, how they connect, but in the future, it certainly will. We'll tie it all together and hopefully bring an interesting, outlook on all that to anybody that wants to join us.
I've been an accountant for 35 years. I've done, accounting, taxes. I worked in sports for almost 6 years. So, I really have had a firsthand knowledge of business and sports and the money involved. And, we have these conversations, a couple times a week. And, it's really whatever topics are out there, maybe not stuff on page one. But, we think we have some pretty good, information to share. Like I said, we got some good feedback. A lot of my friends loved you, Tim. They thought you were great. One of my friends said that, one of my friends said I gained healthy weight. I wasn't really sure how to take that. I guess it's better than she said that than, oh my God, Ken, you've gotten so fat, but.
Healthy weight's good weight.
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to say the camera's put on 10 pounds, but
with this technology, it could be 20. So
that would be perfect. That would be great.
So that's why we're here. We're going to hopefully keep this moving along with business and sports. And, Ken's got a strong accounting background, and I've been in law and finance and chasing race horses and casinos and things like that. And, so we're going to try to tie it all together as we go forward. But just a disclaimer, our legal department reminded us about this. We didn't do this last time. We're responsible for nothing. Don't go make a wager. Don't go make a business decision or an investment. Just sit back, have fun, give our production team some comments. That's what we're here for. So
just like those accounting and tax engagement letters you sign where your lawyers and accountants aren't responsible for anything, we aren't either. So,
bottom line, we're not
sit back and enjoy, clear your head for 15 minutes or so. And, we appreciate you tuning in.
All right. So something really fascinating just happened a few days ago. And when you and I were growing up, the Apollo mission was a big, big, big thing. Now we have SpaceX. We have the astronauts getting back safely to Earth after 286 days up in the space station. Incredible story. I happened to watch it, live, and I'm sure a lot of folks did also, but I'm not sure it really got the attention that it deserves. So,
I mean, I agree with you. It's that they were up there that long, and we couldn't send anybody up there to get them. I think that's, when you look at the Apollo 13 movie that, starred Tom Hanks and you and I both, and it's a great movie.
Yes.
They were only up there 6 days, and with all the technology that we have, that, there's issues back in June, that we couldn't do a better job of going out there to, get them. There's reports that, they're going to have lifelong health issues and
long-term impact.
I just think it's a really underreported story.
No, they're heroes.
Sad. You hope they recover. They're heroes, and you hope they recover. And but it's really strange that it wasn't more reported.
Yeah, and just kind of a footnote. I didn't know this, but with the internet you can look things up. But I was curious, and the moon is like 250,000 miles plus away. The space shuttle is about 250 miles away. I thought that would be that when I heard 250 miles, I'm like, Forrest Gump could have got there, but it just seems like I would have thought it would have been thousands and thousands of miles away. Obviously, I don't understand how things orbit around the Earth at 17,000 miles an hour, but to make that connection and then the return flight is it's just incredible. So I want to hear your thoughts on that, and also, these astronauts are heroes, and so on the folks on the ground here that put that mission together, and they did it so calmly and collectively. They have a launch date. They knew the itinerary. They got up there. We get the benefit of great video to watch it. You couldn't have seen that video like that back in the 1960s. So that part of it's come a long way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just glad they're home, and I hope they get, they get all the medical treatment they need, and the early reports are they could have some serious, lifelong health issues, and it just seems odd that it was never reported, really wasn't reported on a daily basis, and that a better effort wasn't made to
Yeah.
to go get them. And it's there's always more to the story, I believe. The truth's always somewhere in the middle, but it just seems really odd that there wasn't more pressure on our government to do something.
Yeah, no, I agree. We should have been all hands on deck, but we'll hear a lot more as things roll forward. But thank God they're home with their families, and like you said, let's hope they medically they'll be fine. I want to hear their story as well. It's going to be quite interesting. But also kind of something I want to shift gears a little bit, talk about something that's kind of important in our lives, even though we don't play enough golf. We like to talk about live golf. I don't think there's much to talk about, but any updates on the live golf scene?
So there was one report that Freddie Couples, who if you follow golf know is one of the bigger names in golf, came out and implied that Brooks Koepka was someday looking forward to come back to the PGA Tour. Apparently Brooks said, "Look, I got a contract. He will fulfill it with live golf."
Yeah.
It looks like it's going to end. His contract may end in 2026. Which in sports is an eternity away.
Yeah.
It'll just be interesting to see. Usually when the Masters comes around, which is coming around next month, is when the golf news starts to pick up. Obviously, with the Tiger Woods recent injury, it's Masters is not going to be the same without Tiger on the course. He tore his Achilles.
No. Yeah, it's
it's just not the same without him being on the course. It's
one of the best competitors of our time, and just a talented guy. Tiger, he elevated that game like so few have, and he's 49 years old. I'm sure he's trying to get. He's such a competitor. He knows his limitations to some extent, but he'd like to play some competitive golf again. But with that type of an injury in his age, it's not going to help him. But it wouldn't shock me if someday he's in a major in the top 10 on a Sunday afternoon, grinding it out in the next few years. He's just that type of a athlete. So I wish him well. Hope he can get back. And also, I know he's involved with the negotiations, from what I hear about with Liv and the PGA, and hopefully he can be the spokesperson to get those two groups back together where they belong.
Yeah, I mean, as we talked about last time, it'd be great to get everybody on the same course again, every week. I'm sure, look, if the fans miss it, I'm sure the players miss it.
Yeah.
Just a lot of great golfers out there, and some we just haven't heard from, and it would be nice to see everybody back.
Yeah, I was reading on the viewership for like the PGA, 3.5 million on a Sunday afternoon, 3.5 viewers. Live Golf, 12,000 viewers. So these guys that have gone to Live, they've made a fortune. They're phenomenal golfers, but from a career standpoint, when they look back on their career and they didn't get to play in front of these crowds or win these trophies and all that, they'll have plenty of money and things like that. But I think they would have had plenty of money either way. So I hope they can get back. It's just good for everybody.
I agree. I think I think the crowd energy in any sport's important. Right? Like you're seeing it now in March Madness, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Just the crowds probably make it worth playing. It's to play in front of a few hundred people live. I mean, yeah, they're making lots of money, and maybe that overcomes it. But I would think, they've grown up playing in these, massive crowd environments, and, with the Ryder Cup going to be in, Bethpage in New York this fall, which is going to just be a wild scene, that you've got to think that at some point they really probably miss the crowds that they're playing on.
Yeah, they started playing at a young age because love of the game. That's why they started playing. And golf's one of those things that allows you to play a little bit later on. And now when you're at the peak of your game and they're still playing for the love of the game. And yeah, it's a business. I get it. But, they still love the game. Otherwise, you wouldn't be at that top level. If you didn't love it, you wouldn't be able to compete. So I think, like you said, they getting back to where the crowd can get those juices flowing. And I think they will. I just think they want to get there. I think it was a experiment. Let's move on. Let's get you back, and I think we'll both be in a better spot with that. So let's hope. So
I agree.
So I know we want to talk about. We lost some great people over the last week or so. Gene Hackman, John Feinstein, and George Foreman. What are your thoughts?
Gene Hackman's an actor, you grew up watching, and I know he's famous for like the French Connection movies, which are back in the 70s. And, I don't remember them when they actually happened, but Poseidon Adventure is one of my favorite movies, and he was the star of that. And, and the Hoosier basketball movie is considered one of the great movies, and just how, the strangeness of what happened with him and his wife is just very sad that,
Yeah.
They both apparently passed away in their New Mexico home. And it was a little bit of time before they were discovered. Both of natural causes, it seems to be. And it's just really sad. I mean, he's just a legendary actor. And
if you're younger generation, you haven't seen any one of his films, just watch one that he's in. He, I don't know how you pinpoint him, but he commands the room. He seems like he's the hardest working guy when he's on set and on the film. He just brings an energy and a passion, and he's very dramatic about it, and in a good way. So we're gonna miss him. The beauty of it is for us, we get to watch his films, and he left all that behind for us. And I know we lost John Feinstein. I know you've read quite a few of his books.
I read it. He's a sports writer, and he died at I think 67, natural causes. And scary as we get closer to that age, people dying of natural causes. I mean, what a great writer, and a lot of good golf books, a lot of good basketball, college basketball. Like you would see him on TV now with March Madness, and again, he's just
pick up one of his books. He does great research, even if you're not a huge sports fan. Great detail. It's really more of a human interest story about a story or what people go through to get to certain levels. And he's phenomenal. I don't know how he wrote 40 books. He's got such detail in these, and they're easy reads. So pick one up, read one. He wrote 40 books. I haven't read them all, obviously, but I've read quite a few of them. Fantastic.
Any sport that that you can think of, he probably wrote a book on. Baseball, minor league baseball, and he always came at it from a unique angle. One of my favorite books that he wrote was about the 2002 U.S. Golf Open when it came to Bethpage Black. You and I went, and it was the first time the U.S. Open was at a public venue, and and how the details behind how they went along and got the U.S. Open to come to a public golf course. Like it was it was considered the people's golf course. And, and then, you go to George Foreman, and I mean, what a career, right? He was, I think, U.S. Olympic boxer, world champion.
Won the gold medal. Yeah. He won the gold
medal. Then left boxing and then came back and won the world title at what, 45 or 50. And
back in the heyday, back in the 70s when boxing was really big then. He beat Joe Frazier, like you said, and he got older in life and came back and won at 45 years old or something. And incredible,
So, and And many people have the George Foreman grill, and probably most people nowadays remember him for that, and
Yeah, he became a
I remember
minister, right? And he
yep,
did,
became a minister, right? All his kids are named George,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
and
His 5 sons, yeah.
and I remember reading one article about it was kind of vague whether it was true or not, but that Hulk Hogan was originally offered the George Foreman grill and turned it down, and poor business decision if that was true,
Yeah,
and
yeah. I think everybody has one of those grills. I think you use them like once, but
right.
everybody had one. It was big. So we're gonna miss him. Great, great, great personality. What a life he had.
He even had a TV show for a while, it's
Yeah. So
so,
he was a busy guy. He
he's
left
a
he
busy
left he
guy.
left us in a better. He made the world a better spot. I think all these three folks that we just mentioned, they really did. But I just we're running out of time, as we always do. It's NCAA time. Let's kind of wrap it up with our alumni. I want to just mention the Quinnipiac women's hockey team. Phenomenal season for the ladies. They didn't get into the tournament. You had a phenomenal year. Great program. My hats off to you. You're great athletes, great coaching, great program. My hats off to the women. I know they didn't make the tournament. I know they're disappointed, but it's about the competition and how you did, and you did great. So hats off to them.
And both our basketball teams, the men and the women, had realistic shots to win their conference tournaments and came up a little short.
Yep.
But highly competitive. Um, just what a great winter to be at. If you're a student there now,
Yeah.
the two basketball teams and women's hockey, and then of course we'll go to the men's hockey.
Yep. Here we
And
go.
there we go. So the pairings were announced today, and they did make the NCAA tournament for the sixth straight year, the longest in the current streak going on. They play UConn to open up, and
They played
I
once
think what
once earlier in the year, right?
they lost to UConn at the Connecticut Cup there. And why this is fascinating, Tim and I, when Tim and I went to Quinnipiac, it was like a giant high school, with dorms. And now that, not only do they have a Division I hockey team, it's one of the best programs in the country. And it's really,
Yeah.
the job that, Rand Pecknall, who's the coach for 30 years, has won over 600 games.
Phenomenal.
It's really mind blowing. It's, you would have never fathomed that when we were at school, like, when they were playing games on Sunday night at the local high school, that in 30 or 40 years, they're going to be national champions of Division One.
Yeah.
Just an amazing story. And
Just keep it going. You got a great program there. The athletes are phenomenal. It's fun for the alumni to watch all this. And, I wish the team and the school well. You got UConn coming up Friday afternoon, late in the afternoon in the hockey. So good luck with that.
I know Tim's a big donor to the hockey program.
Yeah, I think I donated about half as much as Ken. So Ken's the real donor up there. But no, that's been good. We've been going on a little bit too long here, so I want to wrap things up. And we're going to try to focus on business and sports, and maybe a little bit of movies and things like that. But there has been so much going on, and we hadn't spoken in a while. So
We have some guests coming up that we think you'll find entertaining, and
yeah,
we'll give you a good laugh. So look, we appreciate everybody that watched the first episode. We hope you watch us going forward. We'll put them on a little more frequently, and and thank you for watching.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Have a good night. Have a good week. Take care.
Thanks, Tim. Talk to you later.
Thanks, Ken. Take care.
Take care. Bye.